Well, hello and good morning. So I'm just sitting here having some coffee, reviewing this practice video that I made for myself, and I figured I would jump on camera and share some of this disastrous footage with you. Now, why would I do such a thing? Well, because you're a guitar player, and this is GuitarAmado. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Another exciting episode of GuitarAmado here. I'm your host, Adam Amado. So a little backstory on what's going on here. I am prepping for another gig, and this particular song kind of caught me off guard because the band director told me we were going to be playing Moondance by Van Morrison. But nobody told me that this was going to be the Michael Bublé version until last night. So our first rehearsal for this little shindig happens to be tonight. And it's a little nerve-wracking, knowing that you're totally unprepared for one of the songs. But hey, it's not the first time it happened. So they were kind enough to shoot over an arrangement with some lead sheets for me. And as soon as I started reading through this thing, I realized that I'm totally out of my element. I am not a jazz guitarist, and this is totally a jazz arrangement. So some of these chord symbols are completely foreign and quite ridiculous to me. Now, that being said, I'm sure there are a ton of wonderful jazz guitarists out there who would be able to interpret this stuff way better than me. And by all means, if you are watching this and you are a seasoned jazz guitar player, feel free to leave me a comment, maybe shoot me some tips so that I may be a little more prepared in the future. So whenever something like this comes up and I feel completely out of my element, I usually, I throw my phone up on a stand and I'll just record myself picking through these chords and testing out different fingerings, different chord voicings, all that sort of stuff. Just kind of record my thought process. And then when I go back and watch it, it's usually very helpful. But in this case, it's not really helping that much because number one, I'm not a jazz guitarist. And number two, there's just not enough time to really properly go through and get this stuff in hand the way that I'm used to. So that being said, I have chosen a few carefully selected highlights from this practice reel just to share with you all in the hopes that it will bring some clarity to your own thought process should you ever find yourself in one of these situations. Enjoy. So that's beat 2, 2, 3. So it's an eighth note on 3 and a quick change to a D7. Wait, let me read that correctly. A D7 sharp 5 sharp 9. What the? Let me pick it apart and I'll get back to you on that. D7 sharp 5 is your 9, so sharp 9. Damn, how do you get that? All right, so my conclusion here is this. So starting on the 4th string here, this is the 3rd of the chord. So basically my thinking was this is kind of a conventional D7 triad, just root, 3rd, 7. So now I need, here's the 9, I need a sharp 9, and then I could bar that, and that would also be the sharp 5. So that's the full chord, but that's kind of ugly, especially coming from this diminished shape. So all I'm doing is dropping the root note and starting on the 3rd of the chord. So essentially it's the same strings for each chord change, and it makes the finger switch easier. Well, easier said than done. There we go. I'm gonna have to drill that for a while too, because that's gonna be a quick change. It's gonna be 2, 3, and so yeah, that's gonna take a lot of practice. All right, so as you can see, I've got my work cut out for me today. But to be completely honest, I will probably be faking my way through a lot of this stuff, especially for tonight's rehearsal. And fortunately, I am lucky enough to be playing with one of the best jazz pianists in town. So I'm sure he's going to be holding it down for the rest of us. So, if I flub a couple notes here and there, not a big deal, right? Always hide behind those stronger players. So to be clear, this is not an excuse to slack off on your guitar practice, but when you need to, you can definitely lean on those stronger players. Especially with something like jazz, like no disrespect, I think it sounds cool, but I just have no interest in thinking that hard when it comes to playing music. So anyway, I'm gonna get to work. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and until next time, happy practicing, my friend.